Alright guys, before we get started for this week's episode of To Be or Not To Be, I wanted to show you something that I picked up on, what was it, Saturday? Yeah. I went to a charity hockey game called the Battle of the Badges. It was between the Fort Worth Fire Department and Fort Worth Police Department, raising money for Cook's Children's Hospital, and they had a silent auction. And so I wanted to show this to you. It's a really nice picture of Charlie Hunnam, Jax Teller, obviously. It's an older picture, probably from about season 3, maybe season 4, because he's still got a VP patch, and he doesn't have the Thomas tattoo. And it's got that. It's got the Reaper. If I can get in there close enough to you can see it. And also it's got a signature, well, a laser signature, not actual signature, but it was pretty cool, and so I thought I'd share it with you.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of To Be or Not To Be.
Episode 3.
Maybe I should have gone with a shorter title. It's kind of long.
Yeah.
But there you go.
This week's episode, what did I say it was called?
Playing with Monsters.
Yeah, Playing with Monsters.
Which is very fitting. Actually.
Yeah.
Very, very fitting.
Because there was a weird book that Gemma was reading to Abel
Yeah.
about playing with monsters.
And my best friends are monsters. Or something like that. I don't remember what exactly the line was that she read out of it. But yeah, this episode was kind of, well, Jax was kind of a monster in this one.
Mm-hmm.
He's very much involved himself with some sort of a plan that involves a lot of violence and a lot of betrayal.
And a lot of bloodshed.
Yeah.
As we said last week, Jax's balls are dropping.
Yeah.
And this week does not disappoint on that front.
No, it didn't at all.
I mean, it's all, part of his plan, I'm sure, but it just keeps getting more. The body count keeps going higher and higher.
The body count is definitely rising, yes. And it seemed that there was a little glimpse that he does have a plan. The past 2 weeks it has seemed that there was something working, but it also seemed like a lot of it was just retaliation for Tara's death. But no, there's a lot more. Like we said the first episode we did of this, he seems to be starting a war. An absolute war with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It almost seems, except for the Niners.
Yeah.
He's getting the Niners as allies, which was an interesting turn of events, I thought.
Yeah.
But I kind of liked it. Because it's almost like we're going back to the first season,
Yeah.
where it was the Suns and the Niners. That was it.
Right.
Everybody else was an enemy.
And so maybe there'll be a connection between the Niners and the Grim Bastards, and maybe there'll be some brotherhood there.
Yeah, it's almost like he's trying to get back, trying to get it back to the way it was before everything started happening.
Yeah. He's trying to get back to, it was just a simpler time.
Yeah, it was.
And
Back before Clay started taking everything in a different direction and everything started ramping up.
yep.
So.
But he still looks to be trying to get out of guns though.
Mhm.
So maybe he still has an end game to get out with his family, or what's left of him.
Yeah.
Speaking of family, another intense scene between Abel and Gemma,
Mhm.
as we mentioned before, reading that book. Abel asking Gemma, does Daddy do bad things? And just that look that Gemma had.
Especially when right after that, they cut to a scene where Jax betrays 3 members of the One-Niners and kills them. So no, he doesn't do bad things at all.
No, not at all.
No. But man, yeah, this episode seemed to be more than anything about trying to give us a little insight as to where he is headed
Mm-hmm.
in his plan.
More exposition.
More exposition, and I have a feeling the whole season is going to be like this, where we're only going to be learning little bits at a time until probably the last 2 episodes, and then it's going to be huge.
Which is going to make it for a very frustrating but entertaining season.
Uh-huh. It's
It's just
definitely going to
gonna
keep
be-
us guessing.
I don't know what to say after this episode.
Yeah.
There wasn't. It was very minimalistic. There was a lot without there not being much.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
When the Grim Bastards went and trashed the massage parlor,
Yeah.
that was until they got back in the van and Tig is driving. I thought maybe it was something that was on their own that they were doing,
Mm-hmm.
because I knew it was them because I know Malcolm Jamal Warner's voice.
Well, see, when I first saw him and they said Marks doesn't care, I thought it was part of Mark's group. I don't recognize Malcolm Jamal Warner's voice as well as my brother here.
Yeah.
But I thought that it was Mark's crew. When they got back in and I saw that it was Grim Bastards, I was like, okay, this kind of makes sense. I kind of see what's going on. It's again just another thorn in the side for Henry Lynn, and that seems to be Jax's MO these days.
Yeah, because he said last week that he's going to slowly tear him apart.
Yeah.
He's going to make him suffer very, very slowly.
It's going to be interesting what Jax's reaction is when he find out that it wasn't actually the Chinese
Yeah.
that
And it
killed
was
Tara.
his mom.
But that's going to be a little ways off. Interesting play between. There was a nice little scene between Juice and Chibs. We got a lot more with Juice this episode.
Mhm.
So he finally confronts Chibs and asks for a way back into the club, and Chibs tells him to
And basically,
kill yourself.
kill yourself.
Yeah, but he actually really ends up telling him that he needs to go.
Yeah.
He's got to run.
I think he is trying to protect him,
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't seem like they voted Mayhem.
No.
It doesn't see that that's playing out in that way. I think it's a personal beef with Jax.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I think Jax sees it as a betrayal that he's running. And especially as a betrayal that he's running and Jax doesn't know why. I mean, there was not the full, he doesn't know the whole reason why Juice is running.
yeah.
All he knows is that, at the end of last season, Jax told him, "You betrayed me." And you know, that's all they had to go on. He doesn't know all of it.
Yeah, he doesn't know the whole story
But that's
and what he's hiding.
But again, that's the whole point of the season, is that nobody knows everything. You know?
Yeah.
So.
And new relationships were built.
Mm-hmm.
New sheriff in town, Sheriff Jerry.
Yep. Which played by the lovely Annabeth Gish. Sorry, not Annabelle, it's Annabeth Gish, who was from one of a movie that I absolutely love and haven't seen in forever, SLC Punks. She was in that. Yeah, as soon as I first saw her, I'm like, ooh, I know her. I know exactly who that is. That's Trish from SLC Punks.
But it seems that there's maybe a little spark between her and Chibs.
Mm-hmm. Which is nice. I like that.
We finally learn why he's named Chibs.
Mm-hmm. It was Irish slang for street blade from his scars, his Glasgow smile.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yes, there's actually a term for that.
Why so serious?
Yep. And more importantly than that, I think we find out that she's a little bit dirty.
Yeah, she's crooked.
Crooked, yes. Which again kind of goes back to wanting to get back to where it was in the first season.
Yeah.
She doesn't. I don't know. To me, she was very much like Unsner was. Not necessarily that he's crooked, but he's trying to do what's best for the town,
Mm-hmm.
both inside the law and outside the law.
And it's that expression on Jax's face when he said that, he just wants to, keep the town. When she said she wants to keep the town safe and the money flowing, I believe Jax instantly recognized what that meant, and all of us recognized what that meant. That this is basically a female Unser,
Mm-hmm.
and he can use this to his advantage.
And
Not take advantage of her. It's a nice relationship, and it's, again, like he said, coming full circle.
and he already has used it to his advantage.
Mm-hmm.
He's already paid her off and told her to back off of Juice as much as she can, so that. And I like that Chibs was the one that did that, because Chibs knows that he seems to be trying to keep him safe, like Michael said.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm interested as to how that is going to eventually play out. I still think that it's eventually going to end up that Juice is the one that tells Jax what happened, what really happened.
And I'm thinking that maybe that's going to be his in to get back in good graces.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to come. Like I say, it's going to come. It's either going to come full circle, or it's just going to be a cluster bomb.
And everything's going to
going
fall
off,
apart.
and everything's just going to crash.
Yeah.
Big time. I don't have anything else to say about this one. I don't know
Nope.
if you do or not.
No.
So join us next week, where we will be reviewing. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on.
4.
Episode 4, obviously. Poor Little Lambs.
All right.
What do you think? I don't know. Thanks for watching.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.